everybody, welcome back. We're back here at the workbench. We're going to carry on from last week's video where we fitted some decoders. This week I've got a little loco here. This is the middle carriage of a DMU with the motor in it, and I need to hardwire a decoder into it. So we're going to have a look at that now. Let's move the camera over, have a closer look and see exactly how we're going to do this. So here's the loco. I'm going to put the chip in. Like I said, it's the middle carriage with the motor of a DMU unit. It did have a chip in it before, but it blew. My fault. I've cut it out. I'm going to use one of these rails, 21 pin. Now, obviously this isn't 21 pin, but this came with a harness here that plugs into the chip, and that's to an 8 pin. So if you remember last week, this is the one that the pin was broken on. So I can use this because I don't need the pins, obviously. So I'm just going to cut that off, and then we'll have a look at the wires, what they mean. Now this is for an 8 pin chip. Other chips will be different. Most chips that you buy will have instructions with them. If they're not with them, you'll be able to download them. Like with this Rails one, you can download the instructions. But we're going to have a look at what some of these colors mean. The important ones to us, because we're just wiring in the motor, we're not doing any lights or anything. So we have the red and black, which are the power feeds. So this is where you would solder in the connections to the wheels, the pickups. So you've got your red and black there. And then the next two is the grey and orange. Those are go to the motor. So those are the only 4 wires that we're worried about. The other ones are purely function wires. I think the blue is the common, and then the other wires are the functions like front lights, back lights, cab lights, that sort of thing you'd wire them into. Now, if you're wiring in a decoder, hard wiring it in, chances are it's going to be an older loco that doesn't have lighting functions, so you're not too worried about these. This doesn't have lighting functions, so we're just wiring in the motor so I can control the train via DCC. The other thing to bear in mind is, and this can apply to some older locos that you're trying to convert, is they may draw a higher current. Now these are rated for 1 amp, which should do most double O gauge, certainly. But if you're on a bigger gauge, like O gauge or bigger, that may have 2 motors in them, they are going to draw a lot of current. And chances are a chip like this, it will blow. So you have to get yourself a beefier chip. But yeah, if you're doing some older double O locos, some of them can draw quite a current, so you might need to get a beefier chip for those as well. The only way to test it is actually run the loco on DC and see how much current it actually draws using a multimeter. So what we're going to do is strip these off. I'm going to solder the wires together, so we'll have a look at this now. You can see the wiring on this. We've got black and red there. They're coming from the pickups to this little board here. And then we have an orange and for some reason a green wire going to the motor. So we're going to take the black and red wire from the harness to the black and red wire on here, and then the orange and grey wire to the orange and green. So I suppose begin with the same letter, and put it on there, and then we'll test it and see if it works. So I'm going to get the soldering iron and everything ready, and we'll do a little bit of soldering. Right, you can see I've got all the wires in place. I've stripped them off. I've used these wire strippers here. I got them in Lidl. They're about a tenner. They come in every so often, so keep an eye out for these. I've had these now a couple of years, no bother with them. Fantastic. I use them for DIY around the house as well. Excellent wire strippers. Got a lump of blue tack here just to hold the wires in place. Again, very handy to have that for soldering, to hold wires in place while you're soldering. So the first thing I'm going to do is tin the wires. So let's put a little bit of solder on the wire ends that I've stripped. For that, I am using this flux core. You can see that's the stuff there, if you want to look it up. I find this stuff works really, really well. I've got a variable temperature soldering iron, and I've got the temperature set at about 400 degrees. And again, do this in a well ventilated area. I'm just putting a little bit of solder on the tip, And then what I'm doing is just running it along the bare wire, just to tin. Make sure you keep your tip clean, as it makes soldering just a little bit easier. I'm just rubbing it along the wire there, just to add a little bit of solder, because it just makes soldering wires together a little bit easier. I'll do the wires on the show loco. Obviously, when you're soldering around the loco, you want to take care that you don't melt any of the bodywork or drop hot solder on it. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience. There's a couple of my locos that have got a soldering iron mark on them. As I say, this is just a little brass sponge type thing for cleaning the tip of your soldering iron. So that's that. Over here now I've got some heat shrink. So this will go over the joint. So I'm just going to pass this over the wires. So when I make the joint, now obviously it goes out saying this should be done off the track. There should be no power going through this or anything. It should be done in complete isolation. Oh, I don't think I put any solder on that one. No, I didn't. Just run it up. There we go. So we put the heat shrink on, so now when I do the joints I can put that over and shrink it on in place. Now this is the tricky bit. This is where you need half a dozen different hands. So we're taking the orange one. Again, this is where you can use the blue tack to try and hold things in place. Now I'm going to just move the camera over so you can sort of see what I'm doing. Let's just move the camera around. Hopefully you can see. There's that wire there. So I'm putting the two wires together, just holding them together like that. I'll get my solder. Oh, I don't know if the mic's picking up my tummy rumbling. I haven't had breakfast yet. Right, and we've got the two wires together. Hold them together. A little bit of solder on the tip of the soldering iron. We're just running that together. Running it down along the join. And just take the heat away. Hold it for a couple of seconds. Nope, that hasn't taken. Let's just heat it up again. No, it doesn't want to do it because the camera's on. Let's get a fresh bit of solder on the tip again. And try that again. For some reason the solder is just balling up. Let's see if that takes now. There we go. That's it that time. It's like my trains only derail when the camera's on. And then we're just going to slip that over. So then add a little bit of temperature to that with the iron, and that shrinks it into place and protects the joints. So I'll carry on, do the rest of them off camera, because they'll work a lot easier when the camera's not on. And I'll come back and show you the finished result. There you can see now, they're all soldered together. Went much better off camera. The other wires there, you can just see I've put it out of the way. They've got no bare ends or anything, so they're not going to be causing any shorts. So next job now is plug the decoder in, and we'll test it and make sure it works. There we go, it is on the track. I've got my gauge master on. When you buy a new chip, it's always set to the default 3. So I put it on 3 there. Let's turn the dial and see what happens. Nothing. Oh, there we go. That's right. I think it's more my track than anything else. And we'll change direction. There we go. That's working fine. Change direction again. Slow down. And we'll bring that to a stop. So, direction, that brings me to 1 point. What if, when you put it to go forward, it goes backwards? There's 2 ways to sort this out, and it's up to you how you do it. You can either swap the orange and grey wire around, or CV29, check the value on that, whatever the value is. So if you do CV29, the value comes back as 6, add 1 to it, and change the value to 7, and that will change the direction on the chip. I'll put a link to a video that Rob done from Little Wicked about CV29. It does some other stuff as well. It's a good CV to know about. So I'll link that below. Give that a watch. Rob's very good at explaining stuff like that. But that's 2 ways. If it's going the wrong direction, you can either desolder the orange and grey wire and swap them around, or CV29, find the value, add 1 to that, and that'll sort it out. Right, so that's hardwiring a DCC chip. Now the only thing to do is, before you put it on, make sure the chip is insecure. I'm going to use a little bit of tape just to secure this in place somewhere so it doesn't move around. Even though it's all coated in plastic, there is some metal bits poking out there, just in case it would hit off anything, cause a short and blow a chip, which is what happened to my last chip. So make sure that's secured in place. Also try and make sure that none of the wires are visible through the windows. It's not always possible, but I'll do my best to put it together, and we'll give it a run around the track so you can see it actually running. So there we go. It's running. It's a little bit noisy, so I'm going to have to strip it down again and give it a bit of an oil. But it's running. The decoder's working fine. So there you go. Hardwiring a decoder in. It's not that difficult. Requires a little bit of soldering skill, but not too much. Pretty straightforward. Orange and grey to the motor, red and black to the power supply from the pickups. That's it. If you've got lights and anything like that, that takes further fiddle around with the other wires. And true to form, because the camera's on, something's derailed. So that should be all right for the minute. Anyway, big thank you to my channel members and patrons, whose names will be scrolling here. If you've got any questions or comments, do put them down below, or check out my live streams every Thursday evening at 7:30. You can come in there and ask your questions and see if we can answer them. So I'll pop another video here and here. The old subscribe button in the middle. If you can hit that, give me the thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.